fantastic as this. Look at this sign, look at these beads. Absolutely buzzing to be here to talk about my career and how to inspire the next generation of girls and women in their world of work. So I've been invited to talk on Fired Up with Foz.
My guest today has had a varied career spanning from theatre to chocolate and is a familiar face in secondary schools in Birmingham and Solihull. As part of the marketing team at Solihull College and University Centre, she helps students and parents navigate the next steps after GCSEs. Right, welcome Yvette to Fired Up with Foz.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm good, thanks. I'm really good. Yeah.
Actually, before we start, I mean, what's with all the fans and you being a diva, Yvette?
Pretty much, yeah.
Did you think I had an apprentice who's going to be helping out holding these fans?
I was hoping.
I'm not made out of money.
That's why I'm having to hold my own next time. Can we just get someone in to do it for me, please?
Right, let's get started. And the topic's not menopause because I'm assuming that's where the fans are coming in now. You're all flustered, yeah?
Well, yeah, it's summer. You know, we've got these lights on. Perimenopause, it's all happening.
Right, that's not the topic today. And if I have to call you back, I'm going to charge you.
Fair enough.
Today is all about careers, so let's get started.
I'll turn these fans off.
Yeah. Right, Yvette, tell us how it all started. Give us a bit of background.
As to how I got into this role now that I'm in
yes.
at work. So I am Schools Marketing and Events Officer at Solihull College and University Centre.
Nice.
And I kind of fell into the role by accident. I was looking for a job or helping a friend look for a job, and I was on the internet just looking through all these jobs within the area, and the vacancy popped up.
Right.
And I just thought, I need to apply for that role, because when I looked at the job description,
was it calling you? Was it
like
it's written for me, this made for me?
Made for me.
Yeah.
So I applied.
Okay.
Obviously.
Yeah. You wouldn't have got in otherwise.
And literally the next day, my now boss phoned me and he started the conversation with, "How do you think you did?"
Okay. And
I thought I did quite well, because there's a presentation involved in the interview.
Right.
And if it's one thing I love doing, it's presenting or talking in public, just talking. And
I'd know that, guys. I know Yvette. I wouldn't even have to pay her for this.
Pay me in fans. But yeah, when you thought, how do you think it went? I thought, oh gosh, it's a call in to say, yeah, you did well. However, we decided to go with someone else. And he said, offering you the job. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. So I started almost nearly 4 years ago.
Okay.
And never looked back. I absolutely love the job.
But let's go back, because this is probably not where your journey started, right?
Definitely not, no.
So let's go back. Tell us a little bit about your first job, because this is going to help young people now.
Well, I like to think so. I mean, I now am asked to go into schools to talk about my career journey.
Okay.
Not because my career journey is anything special, but just to give students an understanding of what their career could look like. And I suppose offer them a bit of reassurance that whatever you choose to do for GCSEs and past that, and what you think your career is going to look like, if it changes, it doesn't matter. And sometimes it's a good thing as well. So I started off just wanting to work in theatre. I just wanted to be an actor.
Really?
Can you imagine? And so
at the time, who did you aspire to, or what did you see that you thought, that's me?
From a really young age, I loved television.
Okay.
I remember Mum said to me that when I was really young, when the adverts came on, if there was a programme on, I'd watch whatever, but when the adverts came on, I was just glued to the television. So maybe I was always destined to work in marketing, who knows?
Yeah.
But I always loved, films, I always loved, television programmes. And we went to the Birmingham Hippodrome to watch a pantomime when I was obviously a lot younger.
Yeah.
And it was my first experience of theatre. And I thought, this is magical. You go into this fabulous building. You're surrounded by all these people who are going to experience the same thing. And yes, it was a pantomime. It wasn't.
Can you remember what it was?
It was Cinderella.
Oh, okay.
And
the fairy tale.
Oh, so yeah, it's fun. And of course, it's just, there's all the dancers, there's all the costumes, there's all the music. And
sounds a bit like a Bollywood.
Oh, do you know what? Totally like Bollywood. It's just this whole sort of performance, just brilliant. That kind of inspired me. I thought, do you know what? I'd quite like to be on stage. And when I was even younger than that, I used to go dance lessons on a Saturday morning, me and my cousin.
Right.
And I always enjoyed dancing, but I never thought I'd be a dancer. I've never had sort of the physique to be a dancer.
Or the classes, or like professional classes to go into it, do you think?
Well, I did exams, got awards, that kind of thing. So I suppose if I stuck to dancing, I don't think I ever would have made it as a dancer, but it would have been something that would have led on to becoming a professional dancer.
Oh, wow.
But I was a child, and then I kind of, okay, let's move on to something else. But when I went into theatre...
I was going to say, because do you think it was what you were exposed to at the time growing up, and your parents taking you to theatre, exposing you to dance classes? Because, again, sometimes young people don't get that exposure of different careers at a young age.
I think we are very much sort of influenced by our surroundings,
right,
and the people around us.
Growing up.
Exactly, yeah. When you're young, and even when you're a teenager, and even as an adult as well, I'm still inspired by people or my surroundings or whatever. So I think there's always that element of whatever, when you're developing as a child and a teenager, and you're developing your interests, that can play a huge role. And for me, theatre was a big interest of mine. So we went to that pantomime, and then there's a little theatre in Sutton Coldfield called the Highbury Little Theatre, and they had an open day.
Okay.
And
is that still there now?
It's still there now.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think I was probably about 14.
Right.
And there was an open day, and my mum said, do you want to go and have a little look around this theatre? And I was like, yeah, okay. And I stood on the stage, and if it was like a film, it'd be one of those moments of like realisation. There'd be like grand music playing. Because I was stood on that stage, and I thought, this is what I want to do. I want to act. I didn't know if I'd be any good at it. I'm probably not any good at it. I don't act now.
I think you'd be great at it.
But,
You've got the pizzazz, the personality, you're creative.
There's a lot more to it though.
I almost feel like you ended up locking that side up.
I did, to a certain extent.
Yeah.
I did study performing arts at college and at university.
Okay.
I was so blinkered as to sort of what it was that I wanted to do. Luckily, my parents were really supportive. They could have said, you want to go be an actor? Really? You sure you want to do that?
Yeah.
And in my role
How much money is
now,
that going to make? Yeah.
I do meet parents who are like that, and it's like, okay. But my parents were just like, if it makes you happy, do it. And then, so I went off and did that. After university, there was some bits and pieces that we did. I performed at the Crescent Theatre in Birmingham and some other places. I worked at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival.
What?
At one of their venues up there. I was front of house manager. So it wasn't just acting I was interested in. When you get into that world,
it's behind the scenes as well,
isn't
it?
The backstage stuff, the set, costumes. We used to put plays on for festivals, and I remember at college doing the costumes for one of the plays, and there was 5 dancers who all had white dresses, and we had to dye them different colours, colours of the rainbow. So I remember my mum, bless her, helping me dye all these dresses and all that.
So it kind of goes back to almost being exposed to that career, to that world, that space, but being able to develop your skills over time and learning a bit more about, I guess maybe, do you feel like trying to identify what role you actually want to get into, what career path you want to get into?
Well,
or do you think we're at that time and space when we're that age, and it's not until you try it and think, well, actually, that's not for me?
Very much so. I didn't have the best careers advice at school.
Oh, tell me about it.
Compared to what students get now, and of course you know yourself, the work that goes into what students are exposed to within school, and I'd like to think at home as well. But I remember being at school, having a chat with this woman who I'd never met before in my life. She didn't know me.
Was she part of the school, or was it an add-on I had?
I don't even know.
There was a building next to our school. I don't even remember what she looked like either. Actually, was it a she or a he? It's been that long.
Exactly. I couldn't tell you what she looked like. I just remember it was a woman.
Yeah.
And was in one of these little rooms in the school where you never go into, like, is it a cupboard? Is it an office? It's one of those really tiny offices with like just a desk and a couple of chairs.
Right.
And she was like, well, what are your favourite subjects? I was like, well, I enjoy English. I enjoy history.
Drama?
Well, I didn't study drama at school.
Oh,
because drama at our school wasn't any good. Me being snobby about it, I just went off to Highbury Little Theatre and did youth theatre, and that's how I gained my skills there.
Right, okay.
Instead, I did a diploma in arts and media, which I loved. And if Mr. Williams, if ever you do watch this, he's still awesome. But this woman was like, well, what are your favourite subjects? I was like, well, English, history. I said drama, you know, that kind of thing. She's like, well, you could be an English teacher, a history teacher, or a drama teacher. And I was like,
that was it.
And I remember walking out going, no, I'm not doing that.
That's not for me.
Yeah, exactly. It's not for me. If I wanted to go into teaching, I'd be like, yeah, totally. But
so what she didn't do really is explore your skill set.
Exactly.
Your passion. Ask you, what's your dream?
Yeah.
What's the dream? What's the dream job? You know, all the questions you should be asking, really.
Yeah.
You know, where do you see yourself in the next few years?
That's it.
I remember telling mine I wanted to be a hairdresser. I regret doing that because I ended up actually going for work experience and just sweeping the floors all week and making cups of tea and booking appointments. So again, I guess it goes back to thinking of there's a dream career that you've seen something on TV or your friend's been talking about it. Yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to be a hairdresser, own my own salon.
Yeah.
And then you end up doing work experience thinking...
And it's not.
Not
what it is.
That's not for me.
And that actually happened to me in theatre. I did get a job in theatre. I was deputy front of house manager at the Alexandra Theatre.
Wow, okay.
And I thought this was going to be my dream job. Yeah, and the Alex is such a lovely theatre anyway. And I thought this is going to be brilliant. And I was in my early 20s.
Yeah.
And I found myself working almost every evening, you know, most weekends. I remember friends...
It's a hard graft, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's quite unsociable hours.
Yeah.
My friends would be going out in town on a night out. They'd just stop into the theatre to say hello to me. They're all, you know...
While you're dyeing all the frocks.
Well, no, I'm there in a suit with like a radio dealing with complaints because somebody doesn't like their seats and all that. And I thought... I'm not going to work in theatre again. And that kind of, it just completely killed it for me. I still love going to the theatre as an audience member.
Yeah. But not seeing yourself behind the stage anymore.
I don't see myself either front of house, backstage, or even on the stage.
Well, you never know.
I mean, you never know. I don't say never, but I would say, you know, I will see these jobs going at theatres in Birmingham, and for a split second I think, then I'm thinking, no, I don't think my passion's there anymore. And my parents, bless them, they're like, well, that's okay. After they came me through university, that's okay. But my first ever job was a Saturday job while I was at college at Bragg's, which is now Greg's.
Greg's, okay.
It's called Bragg's,
right?
There, Saturday job.
Right, now we're going back in time, aren't we? So clearly you're a bit older than me, Yvette.
I remember
Because I don't remember it being called Bragg's.
Not all of them probably were called Bragg's, but now Greg's the bakers. Everyone knows Greg's.
Yeah.
I had a Saturday job there. And yeah, I just didn't really... I didn't want to be, you know, giving people sausage rolls and all that.
Yeah.
You know, I want to be in Hamlet. So, you know.
But it helped. But the fact that still tells me the passion for wanting to earn your own money, earn pocket money to help you to move on to something else.
Of course.
Even just the mindset of, yeah, I've got my studies, but I need a job. And I don't know if you know, going back, we valued voluntary work as well.
I have done a lot of voluntary work as well.
It was the done thing, whereas now you tend to get young people saying, I'm not doing voluntary, I'm not doing that for free.
But when I worked at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, I didn't get paid for it.
Okay.
That was voluntary.
Yeah, but what did it do for you?
Oh, it did absolutely loads, because then I was able to get that job at the Alexandra Theatre.
Exactly.
I put that on my CV as work experience, but also volunteering as well. So
But not just that, surely, what were all the other soft skills that you would have picked up?
Oh, it's time management. It's, because if a show needs to start on time, you've got to make sure that all the audience is in, and you call for what we call clearance.
Yeah.
Customer service skills, which have really helped me, because I think in every single job
you need
I've
customer
had,
service. Totally
it's
agree.
all to do with people.
Yeah.
And
100%.
also, taking responsibility and, like you said, those soft skills.
Are you trying to say you grew up then, Yvette?
God, I just grew up. That summer I did so much growing up.
With all that theatre, I was like,
I was
right,
just
okay, this is the new me now.
This is the new me
This is the
now.
new me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So let's fast forward then.
Yeah.
Right, so we're at Solihull College now, Yvette, and tell us in your experience. Well, first of all, I know you do a lot of career fairs. You're at all the mock interviews. Tell us a bit more about your role and how you're able to support young people.
So, apart from the likes of the careers fairs, which are always great to do because you get to have a conversation with students and their parents, if it's an evening one.
We'll get on to parents after.
Okay. And then, like, same, mock interviews as well. But we also deliver assemblies.
Okay.
So that gives us a good sort of, however long the assembly is, normally you're sort of given about 15 minutes to present about the college.
Yeah.
And I like to present in a way that just makes it clear what the options are for those students. And I think now there are so many options for students. We have got vocational courses which are a lot more popular than they were when I was at college. I did vocational course at college, whereas most of my friends did A-levels. There's loads more of those, including T-levels as well, which
and
I know
BTEC.
BTEC, there's, and all different ones. And then you've got the apprenticeships, and you've still got A-levels as well, because some students will want to go down that traditional and more academic route. So it's just letting students know what is out there for them. It isn't just one route and that is it. And the great thing about post-16 education is that you can suit it to your personality a lot more. When you're at school, you are studying these subjects, and it's one way to learn it, basically. Whereas when you get to college or sixth form or whatever you go on to do, there's so many options open to you, which will help you be more successful. So within my role, it is ensuring that those students not necessarily get on the right path, but understand what is out there for them. And another part of my role as well is, of course, helping to organise open events at the college, because there's nothing like going into the building and speaking to the staff and speaking to students who are already there as well.
And actually getting a feeler of the building,
That's it.
meet the team.
Because the college shouldn't just be about the course. Obviously, that's a huge part of it, but sometimes you're walking to a building and you think, oh, I don't think I kind of belong here.
Yeah.
Whereas you'd get a different feeling when you go into other buildings. Talk to the staff, you may get a good feel for one subject more so than another. So it's just...
Are they putting tasters on in colleges now where you can go in, have a try of that?
We do have tasters within sort of schools. So the schools will organise tasters with us.
Right.
We don't have individual ones at the moment. Some other colleges may do that.
Okay.
It could be something that we look at in the future, but we always encourage students to come in, whether it's open events with the school or even individually as well. So sometimes I'll have parents contact me saying, can we come and have a look at animal welfare or something?
Okay.
Like, arrange for time to come in. Some of us will, even go over to the other campuses as well. So I'll go to our Woodlands campus, which is where all the construction and engineering is. And I'll show them all the workshops. We've got an aeroplane there as well. So it's getting them into the college to have a look. But if we can't get them to the college, going out to the schools.
Great idea.
And just sort of saying, look, this is what you can do. And I think it's important to get parents involved as well. because they will have a say to a certain extent of what their child will be doing at college.
Sometimes too much.
Sometimes too much. Sometimes not enough as well.
I don't know if you can recall, you could go to a careers fair. Well, you'd be on the other side of it. So we've got our table set up and you've got the young person in front of you and you're asking them, right, what are you thinking about doing? You know, how did you get on with your GCSEs? And then you hear a voice from the left.
Yeah.
The dad's answering the question. Right, now you're trying to make eye contact with the young person again. Oh, so what are you thinking about doing? Have you heard about our courses we're offering? Then you hear a voice from the right, the mom stepping in. Right,
yeah.
The kid's now looking down.
Yeah.
He's thinking, right, they're answering for me. They're going to make the decisions. By that time, I've wound my neck in as well. And then I've got sellotape attached to my eyes and my lashes. At this point, I'm looking up because I'm thinking, I don't know where to look now because there's a domestic about to happen with the two.
I mean, that actually happened at one of our open events. Because
I've seen it so many times.
Solihull College and Stratford College, Stratford-upon-Avon College, we're sister colleges.
Right.
So as a marketing team, we cover both colleges.
Okay.
So when it's the Stratford-upon-Avon open event, I will go over and work that event as well. Yeah. More hands. Brilliant. Stratford's very arts heavy, so it is very much performing arts, music, fashion. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm going to absolutely love it there. And a woman came in with her daughter, and her daughter wanted to do one of the creative subjects. I can't remember exactly what it was. It might have been musical theatre or something.
Yeah.
And her mum was saying, well, no, I want her to do, I know, health or social care or business or computing, something like that. And they had a bit of a Barney in reception, and I'm just there with my iPad, waiting to just check them in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, you can look at all the areas, while you're here, have a little look around. And then before you know it, we had a call over the radio for a first aider because the girl had a panic attack and fainted because she got so upset and wound up.
Yeah,
and
from the parent.
Yeah.
And I guess by just even being in the college and going there for the first time, it's
overwhelming.
Just a lot.
It's a lot.
Of course, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of decisions that have got to be made.
Yeah.
The last thing you want is your parent adding pressure to that, because it should be a time where they can actually support the child, going together, look and explore your options, talk about the options.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And that makes me grateful for my parents, really, who are like, yeah, just do whatever you want as long as you're happy, And I think because my brother followed my dad, they're both engineers.
Okay.
So going back to sort of being younger and being influenced, my brother was always going to be an engineer. You should have seen him with Lego, and do you know what I mean? He just had that engineering mind, and so he's now an engineer. He did an apprenticeship in engineering.
Okay.
And went on to, is an engineering manager now.
So it's almost having the mindset, the experience, and then the influence of a parent as well.
Yeah. But then when we go out to careers fairs, and some parents are really involved to the point where they're saying, I want my daughter to become a doctor. And I said to the daughter, how are your sciences? How's biology? And she's like, I hate it. Oh, it's a tough one.
It's a tough one.
And then you've got the other end of the scale where parents just aren't involved. And it's really sad when...
The ones who are taking the freebies while you're having a chat with
they're just there wanting the pens. They're taking all the pens and putting them in the pocket. It's like, I can just take one. And it's, I can't comment on it.
Yeah.
But... and as a college, and and I take this not take it personally, but my personal opinion is, find something that you enjoy, find something that you're good at. If you don't know exactly what it is that you want to do, then don't worry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah,
because you've still got the rest of your life.
Exactly, and you'll develop skills anyway.
100%.
Studying performing arts at college and university.
Yeah,
that has given me the skills to do what I do now. And I love it.
So do you think then, since we've had, let's backtrack to, you've been in the role for 4 years, as you said. So if we go back 4 years, that was around the pandemic.
Yeah, we'd literally just come out of
the pandemic.
That,
So if you think about maybe 2 years prior to that, how do you think that's impacted? Because would they have not had exposure to work experience, not had exposure to the taster sessions you talked about, colleges going into schools, employers going into schools. Do you think, so what are you seeing? Are you seeing a change, or are you seeing any other issues that have arisen from the pandemic?
So we find that some students have lost confidence.
Okay.
In terms of social skills, in terms of coming to talk to us at careers fairs.
Right. That's probably why the parents are doing the talking.
Probably. And very often now they will be influenced by sort of social media influencers.
Okay.
And influenced by footballers. So rather than going out and experiencing life, for those, it was like 2 years, whatever, where there was lockdown or there was limited socialising or exposure to the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, they spent a lot of time watching television, maybe just playing football with their friends when they could get out. And, so we find that we're having to play catch up a little bit.
Right, okay.
There's also a bit of an issue within schools, and this is what I hear from staff within schools about sort of maturity levels as well. So making decisions on what it is that they want to do. They feel that some students aren't quite ready to look at the next step after their GCSEs.
Right, okay.
Obviously, a lot of students will know what they want to do, or they know their interests and whatnot.
Yeah, but then there are others who are lost when they get to year 11.
That's it.
And you ask them the question, where do you see yourself, or what kind of job do you want to do? I don't know. Well, what subjects do you like? Do you know what jobs lead into those subjects, or what career, or what university courses you could go on to, or apprenticeship? No.
That's
so. Do you think there's a lack of, or a shortage of exposure earlier on then? So I know the work that you do starts at 11 plus. Do you think career advice or colleges, employers need to go into primary schools? Do they need to go in a little bit earlier? Because if you think about your influences that you shared, which was your parents, how they took you out and about to the theatre, the dance classes, now you might have a young person who hasn't had that for whatever reason, whatever background they've come from. Is there a reliance that it should be offered in a primary school? Do we need to start that early?
So we've had this conversation at work. We do have a primary school that comes and visits all our campuses.
Okay.
We have had other primary schools come in as well, and we feel that the college setting, for some, may be worthwhile while pupils coming to visit.
Yeah.
For others, they find it quite daunting. But I do think that with sort of careers advice or getting that exposure, an earlier age would be quite good. I've got a niece who's 10 years old.
Yeah.
Who, she loves dancing, so obviously I'm all over that.
Yeah.
But both.
You'll have to show us some of your dance moves at the end.
There's tap dancing as well, so I try to teach her a few moves, although she keeps saying, "You're not my dance teacher." I'm like, okay, fine. But she loves dancing. Does she want to go on to be a dancer when she's older? I don't think she does, but but she loves going to visit like castles. Do you know what I mean? She loves music, and she even does like a bit of football as well. So at the age of 10, we can see what she's interested in. I would say to her, "Do you want to come to a rugby match with me?" She's like, "Absolutely not." I'm like, "Okay, fair enough. I've tried that." So I think getting that exposure at an early age could be beneficial, especially like you say, there could be some children that don't necessarily come from sort of a household where they've got the capacity,
the advantage or the privilege,
exactly,
or where parents are a bit more educated or have got friends in different sectors.
Exactly.
To give them that exposure or have the conversations.
Yeah. And I think, it could be done by people going in to talk about their careers into schools. So you could have someone who's a nurse who will go in to talk about what they do. You could even have an architect go and talk about what they do, and sort of say, do you like playing with Lego? Do you like building houses with Lego? That's kind of what I do. And just inspire them. I think, it could work. But I think definitely for secondary school age students, it's quite important to start thinking about that next step, what your influences are, what your interests are. If you've got a career path that's, you've got set in stone, brilliant. If not, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it's
a trial and error, isn't it?
Try and do something, definitely.
Yeah. So, Yvette, let's talk about T-levels, because we know about BTEC, A-levels, apprenticeships. There's been a big drive over the last couple of years for apprenticeships. But more and more young people now, if you don't get your grades to get into A-level, there's an option for a T-level. What's T-levels all about?
So T-levels are technical qualifications.
Yeah.
They're the equivalent to 3 A-levels. So you are getting that same level of education.
Okay.
It's the same with a lot of vocational courses. They're the equivalent to 3 A-levels as well. But with a T-level, you are getting 45 days work experience as well.
Okay.
And it's not work experience like you'd have in year 10, where you go and spend a week somewhere.
Sweeping the floors like I did.
Exactly. I did my work experience in a library.
What were we doing? Just lining all the books up?
I was stamping the books. When I was coming back in, I was putting the books back in. But yeah, someone like me who's doing performing arts, library.
Probably was like, get me out of here.
I need to make some noise. But with the T-levels, it's not that. It's not just a week where you just spend a week in the workplace and you're like, yeah, okay, this is what work's like. You are learning on the job as well. It's kind of the reverse of an apprenticeship.
Okay.
So it's mainly in college learning, but then you will have that work placement as well.
And how many hours is the work experience?
So you're looking at 315 hours.
Okay. And then does that mean if you don't do your work experience, you don't get to pass the course?
Oh yeah, you have to do your work placement.
Right.
Definitely.
Okay.
That's
compulsory?
That's like a huge part of the T-level, and that's what makes T-levels different to vocational courses. There may be some work experience with vocational courses, but with a T-level, it's about that in-place experience,
work experience. It's that hands-on. It's that hands-on experience within an industry which connects to your course, and I'd say a potential of even gaining employment at the end of it, because you'll be 18. You've got the qualification, you've done your 315 hours. If they like you, it could be a case of, well, we'll take you on now.
Well, that's it.
And I guess the next route would then be either a degree apprenticeship, or would there be an option? Does it carry 60 credits?
So you can go on to university, from a T-level. And that's what a lot of people think when it comes to sort of T-levels and vocational courses, that you're not able to then go on to university, which you can do. It carries the same UCAS points as A-levels.
Yeah.
Some courses may carry less, some courses may even carry more, but it can get you into that step. So with T-levels, although you're getting this practical experience and this workplace environment, sort of know-how almost.
Yeah.
If you then want to expand your sort of qualification set and you want to go on to a degree, you can do.
Great stuff. So what type of disciplines or T-levels can you do? Because you talked about it being a practical or technical qualification. What fields of work can you get into?
There's so many T-levels out there now.
Right. Name a few.
We offer 9 altogether. So we have the likes of engineering, design. We've even got one in animal welfare as well, because we've got a big animal welfare department. We're doing the animal welfare ones. And there's like a health one as well. There's one for civil engineering as well. Sorry, not civil engineering, surveying. I think the civil engineering one is still available. So with T-levels, they're very specific.
Right.
So if you want to become a surveyor, at the age of 16, if you know that you want to become a surveyor, I don't know, there's people out there that do, but that's very specific industry, then you can do that. If you think, I don't know if I want to go into surveying or not, then a vocational course is a lot broader.
Right.
So you learn a lot more. So for example, we've got a built environment course which will cover surveying
and planning
and
construction and a bit of engineering. So I guess it would give you a bit of a flavour.
Exactly.
Yeah, at the end of it.
With T-levels, you do need to know what it is that you want to do.
Right.
But employers love them. So if I was to study a T level, whether I was to go on to university or straight into the workplace, because I've studied a T level, they know that I've had that work placement. They know that I know how to conduct myself within the workplace, which is quite important.
Of course.
And it's not just about the knowledge. It's about
the soft skills again, isn't it? It's
Exactly.
the networking, it's communication skills, building your confidence.
Definitely.
It's the contacts that you make within the workplace.
100%.
You could be doing a health and social care T-level placement in a hospital, and there's all the other professionals who are connected to that hospital you potentially would be networking with.
That's it.
That could lead to jobs. So you might not even get a job within the hospital, but, have a sideline.
Exactly.
Not sideline, but build those connections with other contacts.
And you're also
throughout.
learning from those people as well. Obviously, you're learning from your tutors at college.
Yeah.
That's what they're there for.
Yeah.
But by learning in the workplace from your colleagues, I suppose, you get a more rounded experience and a more understanding of what that role is going to be like.
100%.
Yeah.
Mm. So I guess what would you tell your younger self, Yvette? We know you like the drama and the theatre and your dancing, but if you were to tell your 10-year-old self who was doing those dance classes, knowing what you're doing now as a job, what would you have told yourself? Because I know you said you still got the support from parents, your siblings, you had that exposure. However, you still ended up in a different career, but what would you, if you went back in time, what would you tell yourself?
I think it's difficult, when you're 10 years old, you may not have the best understanding of what the world is about.
Yeah.
Just thinking about my 10-year-old niece.
Yeah.
She's just a friend of the world at the moment. So it's anything beyond that is quite difficult to comprehend. I would say, just do whatever makes you happy, because I was in a job that didn't make me very happy, and that's, I sort of changed from doing that. Because when you're in a job that you dread going to every day, it's not a nice feeling.
No.
So,
and it's affecting your well-being, surely.
Exactly.
Mental well-being.
100%, definitely. So just make sure you're always happy, and it doesn't matter if you change your role. My first sort of proper job from university, before I went to the Alexandra Theatre, was at Cadbury World.
Okay.
And I had the time of my life at Cadbury World. And the only reason I left was because I saw the advert for the job at the Alexandra Theatre.
Yeah.
I thought, no, I've got to go for this. And again, everyone at Cadbury World was like, yes, it's your dream job. Yeah,
so what were you doing at Cadbury's World?
So I started off in the chocolate making.
Because this is giving me now lumpa.
It's not the first time I've been called a lumpa.
Willy Wonka.
So it's very similar. I was in the chocolate making area. I can't make chocolate, so sort of chocolate making area where it's all handmade chocolates.
Yeah.
And got some really talented people who work there, absolutely amazing. I wasn't one of them. So trying to make chocolate. No, the chocolate was too hot.
But was this a side job? It wasn't.
Well, no, this was just a job.
To earn a bit of pocket money.
To earn money. I thought, do you know what, this would be fun.
Okay.
Just something to do until
I know what you was thinking, Yvette. You thought every 5 minutes you can have a little bit of bar of chocolate before you moved on and wrapped the next one.
And, do you know what? People would say, are you sick of chocolate? And you're like, no. But
you can never be sick of chocolate.
Honestly, like you'd walk round the side of the factory from the train station to where Cadbury World was, and you can smell the chocolate. It's like, I'm in heaven. But I absolutely loved working at Cadbury World. And like I said, I started off as a demonstrator in the chocolate making area.
Right.
So I'd just be basically showing visitors how chocolate used to be made when the Cadbury factory first started.
Yeah.
So
really what you're doing, there's that bucket of chocolate pouring down, Yvette, and you're like,
I'm just like a bit of a spoon. But no, and it was great because people are going to come to Cadbury World, they're going to be happy, you're surrounded by chocolate, you've come for a fun day out, and I wanted to ensure that the visitors did have a fun day out. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
But then when I saw the job at the Alexandra Theatre, I was like, I've got to go for it. But then when I thought, oh, do you know what, this isn't really for me, I actually bumped into one of the managers from Cadbury World when I was in centre of town.
Yeah.
And because I was still friends with a lot of people at Cadbury World, and I had a boyfriend who was at Cadbury World at the time as well. So we put back.
Was that like your first boyfriend?
We're not going there.
Oh, right. Okay, we're not going there.
They knew that I wasn't as happy there as I
Okay.
was at Cabby World. So she just said, why don't you just come back to Cabby World? And I thought, do you know what? I could go back. And they said, look, even if you're looking for something else, just come back for now. So I went back to Cabby World.
But
so
that's telling me something else, Yvette, the fact that you did such a great job, you're a people's person. That's why they've called you back, because that's quite rare in itself.
Yeah, I mean, I was very, very lucky.
Yeah.
And Cabby World,
because you know what they say, don't burn your bridges.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I believe that you never ever burn any bridges, and I've always left any place on good terms with people. Because you never know when they will need you. You will need them in the future. You just don't know.
Yeah.
But I went back to Cabby World, and it was the best decision I ever made, because it was when I was there that I had the opportunity to work in the education team, the marketing team. I did a lot of sales. We started doing corporate hospitality. I was even asked to go down to work at the Olympics for 2.5 weeks.
Wow.
Representing Cadbury, because they were the official treat provider of the London 2012 Olympic Games.
Okay.
So Cabby World gave me so many opportunities, and I developed a lot of skills there. So I'm kind of thinking, I know I always wanted to be in theatre, but everything that I'm learning here about like marketing
has actually come
and
from
sales,
your experience
and
at
it's
Cadbury's
and my
World.
passion, and that's why this role that I've got now is perfect. I did have a different role in between Cadbury World and here, where I went to work at student accommodation.
Okay.
For actually that was during the pandemic.
Right.
Over by Aston Uni, student accommodation, which was great. Loved the team there as well. But then
I think this is why
I
think it's so important. We want to be able to let young people and the women, and obviously because we're getting fired up now, and saying what's worked for us, what didn't work, and thinking about what we could have told our younger self.
Yeah, just be happy.
Be happy, because your well-being is important. Do a job that you're going to enjoy doing, and
try new things as well. And if it doesn't turn out or work out, so what?
I think more and more young people are leaving jobs quicker.
Yeah.
Whereas maybe myself and you back in the days, we showed a level of loyalty.
Yeah.
We stayed that bit longer, didn't we?
Yeah.
Till we got to the end of it and it was an HR issue, or you really had had enough.
I have never had an HR
okay, maybe not then. Or you got to a point where there was a boyfriend issue then.
No, it's
not even that. Right, we're not going there. And I forgot what I was saying.
But I think if I was to go back and speak to my 10-year-old self, it's just go and try new things and put yourself out there.
Yeah.
And as long as you're happy, no one expects you to just stay in a job because it's a good job.
For the rest of your life.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And if something isn't working out, just go and try something else.
Although there are people who will go down a particular career path and they do enjoy and stay there, and that's fine. That's also fine. Yeah.
Definitely, and it's not one size fits all when it comes to career. Definitely not.
How many of them have you, I know you've been in the job 4 years, as you said, how many have come back and shared with you what job they got into, or business, or whether they went on and did a degree? Have you met anyone? Does that happen? Do you get to do a bit of a follow-up?
So, I mean, as a team, because I'm very often off out at the schools doing my thing, but as a team, we do find out about what a lot of students have gone on to, and we've got quite a few success stories, which is really lovely to see.
Yeah.
And there will be, one or two that you remember from a school that have gone on to do a degree, or they've even gone on to start their own business, or they've gone on to even higher education after a degree and whatnot. And it's inspiring to think, okay, their journey, although, yes, they've been at school, but their journey for their career started with us at college. So, if you've got someone who's now a successful photographer, they would have studied photography or art and design with us. And yes, they may have then gone on to university or done additional training.
Yeah.
But now, they've got their own business as a wedding photographer, or, they've been working for magazines.
That's a proud moment, isn't it, knowing they started that journey with your college?
Exactly, yeah. And, we even have like a mature student. Well, she's an apprentice. But, someone who's in her 40s that has changed what it is that she wants to do. And you think, yeah, do you know what? We've helped her to, get on the right path. I do see a lot of students around the college who I have spoken to. Some of them will even say hello to me. They're like, Miss, do you remember me? I'm like, yeah.
Okay. You brought a cat in today.
Yes.
I know you love your cats.
I love my cats.
How many cats have you got?
Well, we've only got one now.
Okay.
But there's a lot
he,
that visit.
She, what's it called?
So she's called Lenore.
Lenore.
As in the fabric conditioner.
Okay.
It's a long story. But we do have cats that will come into the garden and sort of chill out with Lenore and whatnot. And but
chill out. Oh, Lenore's getting a bit.
Well, we think she has got a boyfriend, but yeah, we'll leave them to it. But no, I just love animals. It's a big passion of mine. But yeah, I do love cats. This cat here, this metal cat, was a gift from a friend of mine, and it's metal because I like sort of rock music, heavy metal music.
Okay.
And it's a cat.
So are you seeing more young girls moving away from traditional courses, careers, and trying to explore something different?
Definitely. With the likes of construction, we've got a lot of girls on the bricklaying courses. Our plastering tutor even got a female plasterer in to talk to all the students.
Yeah.
And the girls were really inspired by her.
Okay.
Thinking, okay, do you know what? This lady here is absolutely smashing it. I can smash it as well.
So again, does it also go back to seeing a female role model?
Potentially.
Who's in that position.
Potentially.
Yeah. And being able to share her journey and say, well, I can do it. You can do it.
That's it. And we're seeing a sort of a shift in sort of attitudes within girls as well. It's not a case of, well,
in what sense?
So it's like, oh no, I don't want to be a builder. If you explain to them, you can earn quite a lot of money being a bricklayer.
Mm-hmm.
If you're good at maths and if you're willing to put hard work in and you like something physical, and they're like, yeah, do you know what? Why not?
So is the same happening in terms of more females taking up sport courses, engineering?
Yeah.
Law,
motor vehicle courses as well.
Motor vehicle,
yeah. We've seen a lot more of that, and it's something not so much that we're pushing, but I will speak to girls at schools and like, oh, I'm interested in engineering, and it's like, well, look, we've got this type of engineering, that type of engineering. Explore those areas. We want more females in STEM industries, basically. And it's great now, because when I was at school, it was never encouraged to go and do that.
No.
I mentioned my brother followed my dad in engineering.
Yeah. Either it was a more male-dominated industry.
Yeah.
Or the parents, it was a bit of stereotyping. Parents would think, well, that's not for you. That's for your brother. Mm-hmm. They wanted the females to go into more traditional type of roles. But I think, so there's a big societal shift as well, isn't there?
Definitely, which is great, really. And I just think, a role or, a career, it doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah.
If you're good at it and you want to do it, just do it.
Yeah. And I think it's really important for females to see strong, independent role models out there from different walks of life.
Definitely.
From diverse backgrounds, regardless of whether they're from a BAME background or whether they've got a disability.
Yeah.
You want to see that representation.
Definitely.
It's so important, because what you see, you can then feel, well, actually, I can do that. That's something for me. There's a position for me.
That's it. And that takes us back to being influenced by people as well, or having people as role models, or being inspired by people as well. Any girl out there, like you say, regardless of like background, disability, whatever, if they are inspired by somebody, then they should definitely give something a go.
Don't let it hold you back.
No.
Yeah. I know there's got to be things that really get you fired up when you're at these career events, or when the kids come to the college. Go on, Share.
So I suppose, which we've already spoken about, when parents talk for their young learners.
Yeah.
So, you know.
So give us an example.
So I will say.
You've got your table all set up,
I've
your
got my
freebies.
tablecloth, I've got my banners.
Your stand's all up now. You're colour coordinated with
Which
your banner.
doesn't very often happen because I'm normally in like animal print and it's bright pink and all my stuff's red. I'm like, yeah. And I've got this family coming towards me and I'll say, oh, hello, what sort of thing are you interested in? Do you know what you want to do?
Yeah.
And, I don't know, the daughter could say, I'm really interested in sport.
Right.
I'm like, okay. So I will then tell her what sport subjects.
You've got your brochures out now.
I have these little it's what we call Z cards, and I sort of open that out. So yeah, they love that. And then the parents like, but what about business? It's like, okay, we'll talk about business.
Hang on, hang on.
Hold on.
What about business?
And it's like,
she just said, I'm interested in sports.
And sometimes I will even say to the student, what is it you're interested in? Do you know what it is that you want to do? And the parents will just say, oh, she likes art. Okay, well, have you got a portfolio of artwork?
Yeah.
Oh, she loves to just paint and okay.
Right, thinking, speak.
I know, and I guess, the parents will do it to help support, their daughter, son, whatever, but it's time for them. It's their time.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to sort of say to the parents sometimes, look, let's just have a conversation here, shall we?
Rein it in, please.
Just,
rein it in.
Sometimes it's a bit, if it's the parents doing all the talking, because I don't want to be rude to the student and just start talking to the parents, but they're the ones who's talking. It's like, balancing it. Hard work. So when we do mock interviews, and with mock interviews,
is that when you've gone to another school to do it?
That's when we go out to schools,
secondary schools.
That's it. They'll have these interviews, and it's the first interview for a lot of students.
Okay.
And the reason why schools do this is to get them ready for their college interviews or a job interview, and it's all about the student. And the schools very often will just prepare the students for these. They'll give them the list of questions that's likely to be asked. Sometimes I throw a curveball in there.
Yeah.
And I ask students if there was an animal, what animal would they be? And, they just sit there and they go, like a sloth, because you just get to lie around. I'm like, dude, no. But one thing that fires me up is when I say, tell me a bit about yourself.
Yeah.
What do you enjoy doing inside school? What are your favourite subjects? What do you enjoy doing outside of school?
So the extracurricular.
So when you're done for the day, when the bell goes at 3:30 or whatever.
Are you at the gym or are you playing football?
Do you play football? Are you,
dance classes?
Exactly. Are you going home doing art? Are you, what is it you're doing?
Helping your local charity?
Exactly.
Right. What do you get?
Just chill.
What?
Just chill.
Chill. I'm just chilling. I'm just chilling. I'm playing PlayStation.
I will even say to them, do you play computer games? And even if they say I play computer games. Well, do you have an Xbox? What kind of games do you like play? Just trying to get something out of them. I'll just watch telly. Okay, so what are your favourite shows?
They don't want to talk to you. Yvette. You don't get it, do you?
I know.
Just closing up.
You're like, what's wrong with me? What's going on? But it really annoys me because
that's their practice interview, so they need to
Exactly.
get as much out of that experience.
Exactly.
And you've taken time out to go to the school.
Exactly.
As an employer, because you've almost got an employer hat on then. You haven't really got your careers hat on.
No, that's it. Yeah, and because we are getting them ready for their college interviews, so it's, we're just helping them. And so when I get nothing from a student, that fires me up. I have conducted interviews where the student has barely spoken, but obviously, there could be additional needs there or something, and
or they're a bit reserved.
Exactly,
a bit shy. Because you are a total stranger.
I'm a total stranger.
Who's come along and they're thinking, this person's going to be judging me now.
Yeah, and I do. I judge all of them. I had one girl whose interview lasted 20 minutes and the only question I asked her was, tell me a bit about yourself. And she spent 20 minutes just talking about her, then it was about her aunt and all that. And I tried to sort of
Prompt
say,
her.
okay.
Yeah.
And the person who was organising the interviews was kind of looking at me, and I kind of looked at him and I was like, I'm really sorry, I'm going to have to stop you there, but this has lasted 20 minutes. The interview's supposed to last like 10, 15 minutes. And she's like, oh, I could talk for England. It's like, yes.
So
but,
she outsmarted you there.
but the thing is, if that was a job interview, and I have conducted interviews at jobs,
Yeah.
if that was a job interview, I wouldn't hire her, because it's almost like she can't take direction, or, you know, sort of think, well, you know, if I was asked to talk about myself, I'd talk about what I do as a job, what my interests are.
Yeah.
And I'd wait for the next
kind of make it a bit
question.
more specific, make it role related, rather than just waffling on for 20 minutes.
And that's it, just answer with a couple of sentences.
Yeah.
And then wait for the next question.
So you must have given her some killer feedback then.
Might
All
have
right.
done.
You don't want to say?
Well, no, it was just, yeah, she was lovely. And then she did actually, did she come to the college for the open event? I think she did come to the college for the open event.
Okay.
So she's like, Miss, do you remember me?
Oh, so you made an impact on her then.
Yes, I do.
Nice.
Remember, yeah. But no, I mean, she was lovely, but it just wasn't right. So we have two extremes.
Yeah.
That fires me up with mock interviews, though, when I feel that students aren't prepared. Yeah, if I was to ask them, what are your strengths and weaknesses? And they say I haven't got any weaknesses.
Oh.
I'm like, cool. Good for you, you Superman. But you know, it's the first interview, you know, and it is a learning curve, and I do give them feedback about it, because when it's important, when they go to an actual interview,
It's going to count.
they'll know, okay,
They'll
I remember
remember.
this,
Yeah.
you know. And sometimes I will sort of say to them, because very often we give written feedback, you know, always remember to ask questions at the end, and you know, even if they have done that, just to remind them. So
Yeah.
although in the moment I'm like, oh, this isn't great, it's like, no, but you know what? The fact that it's not great now,
It's
doesn't
going to help them
matter.
long term.
Long term is going
Yeah,
to help you.
yeah.
But it's still annoying when I ask them what they do outside of school and just chill. Good
That's
for
not
you.
what you want to hear.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Do you even like do the washing up? Do you help your parents? You know, like, no, it's just nothing. Okay. What another thing that upsets me,
Yeah.
or another thing that fires me up, because
Yeah.
we're using that term,
Yeah.
is when students stop their hobbies because of their GCSEs.
Ah, okay.
Which I know is controversial.
But do they stop it because of the pressure from parents and the level of revision they have to do? Parents often will say, and I know some young people who are doing maybe Islamic studies will be like, do you know what? Put that on hold a little bit.
Yeah.
Leave your hobbies to one side. Focus on your exams now. It's all about, so driven about making sure they pass these exams.
And that's it. Yeah. And I do appreciate that their exams are important,
Yeah.
and they've got to focus on it. However, by constantly revising, sometimes it just puts a block.
Of course it
So
does.
I remember there's one girl who's really into kickboxing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, brilliant, you know, and she entered competition, she's doing really well. And I said to her, are you entering any competitions at the moment? And she said, no, I'm not doing it anymore because of my GCSEs. I'm like, well, can you go sort of one Sunday afternoon, like, you know, like a week,
still
or
keep
just do it for a couple of hours?
maintaining it.
Maintain it, because you actually need that space from it. Your mind needs to rest. You need to focus on something that you enjoy, so you feel refreshed. And then when you go back to revising, it's going to have a bigger impact.
Yeah, yeah.
So I get fired up when I hear that students aren't, you know, sort of carrying on something.
And is that for
because
like
they
6
GCSE.
months or so? Will that happen during that core couple of months before exams?
Yeah.
Or?
I mean, I even speak to year 10s
Mm-hmm.
who will say, oh, well, I've got to stop, you know, sort of going to football soon because of my GCSEs. And it's like, well,
What
if you
a
can
shame,
reduce it, you know,
Yeah.
like you say, you know, students are doing Islamic studies, you know, can that still be fitted in? You know,
It can.
It's a
I think
balance.
it's a balancing act. And I think it also depends on the individual.
Of course it does.
Yeah. And then it depends on how passionate they are about the extracurricular that
Exactly.
they're doing.
If someone does it, like, not fuss, but, you know, if someone's been entering competitions and they've got
you can't
awards
just
and all
stop.
that, and it's like a big passion of theirs, I
Yeah.
think you need to keep that.
Of course.
Yeah, it's important to get your GCSEs in, but
your well-being
about
is equally important.
there's a lot more emphasis on well-being
Yeah.
now in schools, in the workplace, you know, so, and I think that needs to be remembered at home as well.
100%.
You know, and home is very often, that safe space for all of us, So well-being is really important, because schools and workplaces put so much emphasis on it, that we need to remember it needs to be at home as well.
Yeah. Right. Are you ready for a quick fiery round now, Yvette?
I think so. I think I might just need the fans back to,
Right, stop being a diva. Right, we asked a focus group of young people aged between, say, 10 and 12, and asked them a few questions that they would ask their career advisor.
Right.
When they'd go into secondary school, or if they'd just started secondary school, if they're in year 7. And here's what we got. Can someone become a professional superhero or wizard?
No.
Are you running a course for that in the college?
Probably not. No.
How can someone get rich quick without actually working?
I wouldn't know. Trust me, if I knew.
We wouldn't be sitting there, would we?
I'd have a diamond necklace on.
Right. Does someone have to do their homework forever, even when they go to work?
I mean, there might be some work that somebody'd have to do at home, but really they shouldn't be doing that. So no.
No, who wants to take work home?
No.
Can you get a job playing video games?
You can actually.
Really? And are you running a course?
Yes. Esports. So
esports. Okay. Yeah.
It's a big course that we offer.
Right. Have you got a lot more young girls going to that, or is it mainly boys?
It's mainly males. We do have some females sort of interested in it as well. But yeah, and it's a big thing. There's tournaments and everything. We've just had jerseys designed for competitions and whatnot.
Oh, wow.
So yeah.
Okay.
But if someone's thinking just staying at home...
There's a big but.
Big but. If you think you could just stay at home and play computer games, absolutely not. No. That is not a job. Sort yourselves out.
Right. What if the dream job doesn't make you enough money to buy a yacht?
Oh, no, this is an issue I've got because I love boats. I want my own yacht. Anyone who knows me knows that I just love water. I want a yacht.
So you're still saving your pennies now to get this yacht?
Would I say I'm in my dream job? I'm pretty close to being in my dream job.
Yeah.
Do I have a yacht? No. Am I happy? Yes. But I don't have a yacht.
That's what matters. The fact that you're happy
but
in
I don't
the job
have
that
a
you're
yacht.
doing, but you haven't got a yacht. We're getting there, Yvette. We'll get there. Maybe we'll get to retirement or something.
Yeah, then I'll live on my yacht.
How do I become a famous TikTok influencer and make millions? You must hear that all the time.
That's another thing that gets me fired up.
Why?
Just because it's just not a real job. And I just think...
But how can we say that now? Because there are so many influencers.
There's so many influencers out there.
And there is a skill. There is a skill in becoming an influencer. There is an art to it. They have learnt the marketing, the networking, the business skills to set it up. So... And I know me and you going back 10, 15 years, it wasn't a job title, but it actually is now.
I mean,
So you can't get fired up about it.
Well, I still do, just because I think,
What, because it's not a proper job?
I just think you put a lot of risk into trying to be an influencer because if you, for example, promote a product or a lifestyle, that influences people. That's the whole point of being an influencer. If something happens and something goes wrong,
then you're next on the line.
It's,
you're accountable.
Exactly. But if somebody wants to be a famous TikToker, you have to put a lot of work in and think of your unique selling point as well, because there's a lot out there on social media that's exactly the same. And
I think that's what some young people fail to realise is the effort, the graft, the hours.
Like you say, you have to know all about the marketing of it,
Well, you're actually wearing 4 or 5 different hats, even as an influencer.
Well, I was out bottomless brunch with some of the other sort of school liaison marketing people from other colleges. Yeah. Because we're all although we're competitors, we are just really good mates. Yeah. And one of them has got her own page and on Instagram.
Okay.
And we was actually like, I haven't posted that post. So, and she had to put something on. There was
While
like a
you're in
video.
the middle of this lunch.
Yeah. And so, you know, it's almost
Quite
like
a demanding
full-time
role,
job.
isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. You know, and you have to think about your audience, when you're going to post something, when the best timeline is. And yeah, it's hard work. You know, a lot of people see these travel influencers as well who will travel around the world. But it's a lot of waiting in airports. It's a lot of staying maybe in like hostels that aren't great, because you've got to pay for this posh hotel for one night, or you've been invited to stay one night to review it and whatnot. So,
and some of them are sacrificing their homes and savings and what have you to actually kickstart the business.
That's
It is almost a business, isn't it?
Of course it is. And, you know, you have to find the capital from somewhere to start it before you get people who are going to almost sponsor you. So, yeah, it's not a preferred career choice.
Maybe a sideline thing.
Yeah.
Right. How much coffee is acceptable to drink when you're working?
See, now I will have probably 1 cup of coffee a day. Some people may drink 5.
But can you see someone's asking this question thinking,
like, drink as much as you want.
Drink as much as you...
As long as
get your job done.
As long as it doesn't affect your work.
Well, I don't know about you, but I can get a bit hyper after a few coffees.
Yeah. I'll have one in the morning, especially for a careers fair.
Yeah.
I'll have one just to get me going, and then that's it. But
how many have you had this morning?
Me?
Yeah.
I haven't actually had one today.
Really?
No, I've just had water.
Okay.
Just trying to be good.
So you're doing good. Right. If I'm really good at baking, can I get a job at just eating cakes?
Well, you can. I don't know about eating cakes, but I mean, you know, like chefs have to try their food when they're eating. I suppose if you're baking, you can try some of the cakes, make sure they're okay. I don't know. At Cadbury, they have chocolate tasters. So,
true.
So that's
it's
a similar
possibility.
kind of thing. What a job.
I know. Do you want that job?
I can't have that job, given my health issues. Definitely not.
What job lets me talk to animals all day? I don't know what these kids are on asking these questions.
Well, I mean, you know, if they want to work with animals, yeah, you could be talking to them while you're working with them. So, you know,
it's a bit like people who talk to their
welfare.
plants.
Exactly. I talk to my cat. She knows what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think.
She gets you.
I call her a naughty girl for being out with a boyfriend. But, you know, there are jobs working with animals, and I guess you can talk to them then, but it's not just talking.
Not just talking.
No,
I know.
bless them.
You're not going to get paid.
That'd be a good job, though.
Yeah. So, Yvette, give us your top 3 tips, career tips, for the next generation of women having to face the big wide world.
So I suppose my first one would be, don't take no as a final answer. So if someone says, no, you can't do something, it could be that it's not right for that time, or it could be that it's not even right for you at that time, but it doesn't mean to say you can't do it forever. Yeah. I mean, I've got my rugby ball here. I've never played rugby. Me and my cousin, one who we went dancing with at school, we asked our head of PE if we can start doing something after school for girls, you know, who want to play rugby, because we love rugby. And the head of PE said no. And that was it. We just was like, okay, no. And England... And
that was it? Put you off? You didn't go back?
Well, it was just, okay, well, we just won't do it then. And now, England, right now, is hosting the biggest women's rugby World Cup. So where could that
have been you?
That could have been me. I mean, not in this. I'm too old for this now. But who knows? That could have
led to. Yeah.
So if you really want to do something and someone tells you no, then just go, okay, I won't do it. Try again.
Okay.
So that's my first tip. Second tip is put yourself out there. Opportunities aren't going to come to you.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people will say, oh, I want to do this and that. It's like, okay, well, what is it you're doing? And I think with females, we very often feel that if there's like a job description, for example, we have to hit every point on that job description in order to apply for it. We don't. Men won't.
Yeah.
The men would go for a job. So I'd say to sort of any girls out there, young women, you know, just put yourself out there. look at volunteering, mention I've done volunteering in the past to get my skills, to get into the jobs that I wanted to. Join clubs, just go and do something.
Become an ambassador.
Well, that's it, yeah. And whether you do something inside of school, if there's opportunities inside of school, go for that. And if you do something outside of school as well, brilliant. If it's like Girl Guides, if it's going, canoeing club, I don't know.
Well, it's all going to look great and add to that profile on your CV, isn't it?
Exactly. And it just shows that you're a rounded individual as well. So, you will have skills. So
and what's your final tip?
So my final tip is a backward step isn't necessarily a step backwards. Which sounds really corny, doesn't it?
No, but I love that.
I went from a managerial role back to my previous workplace as just a member of the team. But in order to get onto the right track for me, I had to do that. And so if you think that you're in a role or on a career path that isn't right for you and you want to go in an opposite direction, and it means you may have to go down the career ladder, a step or so, then do it. What's the problem in that?
It's not going to be forever, is it?
Of course it's not. And, and I just think sometimes we do need to take a step back from our career because we have so much else going on in life. And as women, I think we're always sort of striving to be the best that we can and have it all.
And I think not just being the best, we're constantly multitasking as well.
100%.
Yeah, there's so many other things happening that we're juggling in our life.
And so, if you think this role isn't for me and you want to try something else, but it means, a cut in pay or whatever, then do it.
It's just short term, isn't it?
Short term, you can soon get on the right path. So don't ever be afraid of trying something new and taking a step back if needs be.
Lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It's been great.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for brightening up my day and sprinkling some career dust in the studio, Yvette.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you so much. Keep smiling and being the diva that you are. And thank you for sharing your career insights. It's been really useful. And I don't think even you know the impact that you're making on so many young people and the encounters that you've had. Honestly, you've been remarkable today. And you're such a strong, independent role model, the diva that you are. And just keep being you. Oh, well. Actually, if you're listening or watching and have been supported by Yvette over the years, let's turn this into a competition, shall we? Let's see how far our viewers or listeners can go back in time and whether they've been supported by yourself or me. So whether it was career advice or a CV that I supported them with. So let's see who's going to be the winner, because I love a bit of competition. And to our viewers and listeners, make sure you share with us the time when we supported you and where you are now on your journey. You want to know? We want to know. And you know what would be great? We'd look back at those comments and it'd be amazing to have some of those young people, well, they won't be young anymore, but some of them to have them back into the studio with you next year to share the journey and the impact that you made. That would just be epic. Still it. Should we do it? Yeah. So don't be expecting a freebie event. It's not a buy one, get one free. I'm going to have to charge you for that one. I need an extra fan. All right, we'll sort it out. Thanks for that. All right. Huge thank you to Yvette for being her awesome self and giving us some proper belly laughs. And you heard it here first, Yvette's top 3 career tips. And a final note from me, parents, go easy on your teens. If they didn't get into their first choice college or course, keep showing your support and stay positive and guide them through the process. They need you. Instead of focusing on disappointment, sit down together and create an action plan. However small it is, set some realistic goals, some positive affirmation, and stick it up on the wall as a daily reminder. And you know what? It's going to be just fine. Young people thrive when they feel their parents believe in them, not when they feel they've let them down. Your belief could be the very thing that keeps them moving forward. You got this.